So yeah, today I just got this gimbal and I'm taking it for a trial run. It's a DJI product, I forget the name already, Myomi I think it's called, Osmo 3. I have a DJI product before. It's a drone which I use for aerial filming, but this is a cell phone gimbal, and at the moment this is the only technology I have to do my daily live streams when I go for my walking exercises. So if anyone's watching, thanks for tuning in. Today was going to be my first real episode, but the weather was oppressive, so I've had to wait. I'm now about 3 hours behind the time that I said that I would be broadcasting. But yeah, when the weather's like 30 degrees in England, it's pretty oppressive. So it's now, I don't know, probably in the lower 20s, I would imagine. And the sunlight is not so intense as well. So Tiggerable, yes, I made it. Stable footage, yeah. The gimbal so far, it's proving. I'm really impressed by it. It's a little bit difficult to get to grips with. Like I keep, like if I move to the left now, it kind of slowly catches up. But there's also this joystick, like a thumbstick, so I can keep playing around with it and adjusting as I wish. But yeah, I'm really glad that I mean, at least on the phone it looks great. It looks very stable. Shame the same can't be said for the internet connection, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't know if it's how it works, but in my mind, if there's less traffic on the cell phone networks, then maybe it means that the signal will be a bit stronger. We never know. But yeah, so far this is turning out to be pretty awesome. A feature of this is that it's supposed to lock in place if I pull the trigger and hold it. Now I'm not sure how that works, because if I suddenly point it down to the ground and point it up, let's point it up at the sky. Okay, that flips it again. Bring it back down. Okay, so double tap the trigger to auto sensor, so double tap. There we go. Now if I hold the trigger, okay, so unless I violently move it around, it tries to keep the camera in the same place. So that's what that does. It doesn't lock the camera. It basically keeps its center of balance in one place instead of being able to shift focus like this. That looks beautiful. I'm actually happy you guys can see that. Right, here we go to the bridge. Do another recenter there. is good because this thumbstick makes it so much easier just to make little adjustments and stuff, because I'm holding the trigger kind of as if I had a sword diagonally across my chest right now, so it's at an angle, so the center is off, so it doesn't chicken head. Oh, okay, is that what it's called? Yeah, that's what I was trying to, that's a very articulate way of putting it. Yeah, it feels kind of fun. It's like a nice, have a little toy, and the best part is, I have to say, right now my arms feel fine. Like, I don't have any aches and pains that I've been having over the last couple of days doing this, so I guess that's an unexpected perk. I'm just keeping the arm that I'm carrying this in kind of waist level, at least my elbow is by my hip, and I'm kind of holding it in front of me. So here at the sheep field, not sure where those guys are today. Double tap, back to there, nice. So yeah, that, and you get slowly used to it maybe. Yeah, I think that's true. Even though I'm only walking, this is more of a physically intense thing than I thought it would be. I'm already, I have to say, I feel like I'm less out of breath this time. I feel like my pace is a little bit quicker as well, so that must be a good thing. But yeah, okay, maybe I spoke too soon and I'm running out of breath, but yeah, it's definitely feeling good. I don't have my earbuds in today. I'm not sure how Bluetooth works, but I don't know if you can connect to multiple Bluetooth devices at the same time, and my Samsung earbuds or earpods or whatever you call them connect by Bluetooth as well. But it is more important that the gimbal work for this test. So here I go. Let's check the chat. There's definitely improvement, I think. Have I brought enough water? I have one bottle again, freshly from, I went a bit advanced this time. I put it in the fridge before I left, so it's actually colder or cooler, whereas before it was warm. It was in my pocket, and so it was close to my body. Also, there's heavy sun, which really killed it. Michelle, you can hear the difference. Less wind, but if you move, the audio drops a bit. Okay. Don't drink it all at once, too cold for your body. Small sips, yeah. What I'm going to do, have an interesting experiment for when I get to the crossroads. This gimbal comes with, you can get a normal version, or you can get like one called a combo pack, which is the one I bought. So it's only 20 quid more, or 30, I'm not sure. But you get like a tripod that kind of collapses out from the bottom that you can just screw on or screw off. And you get a nice little carry case as well. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to the crossroads, is pop out the tripod and put it on the ground. And for the first time, I'll be disembodied. You'll be able to actually see what I'm doing, how I'm dressed and all that. Let me see if I can flip the camera back onto myself for a moment. So that's the level that I'm filming it at. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and well, number one, for the support. Like, that's the big thing for me. But also just really appreciate you sticking with me while I work out all this tech stuff. So let's flip the camera again. See the sunrise over the field. Nice. Start walking again. I like to rest there just to pause and catch my breath, because I don't know how it looks on the camera. Probably even if it wasn't a camera, it would still look kind of like a minimal hill. But to me it's quite heavy going. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I posted on Facebook earlier today about the food I'm trying to eat. Slightly better results this time than what happened last time, but I still had the feeling that people were doing this is what's best, this is how it should work, blah blah blah, which is wonderful. Like, I really care that people are giving me advice and they know what they're talking about, because I clearly don't. But at the same time, it's frustrating, because I think that people don't understand how fucked up my body is. Basically, I've eaten like an idiot for the last 38 years, and I've lived a very sedentary lifestyle. I pretty much haven't gotten away from a couch or a chair or a bed for the last, I don't know, 5 years maybe. No, I've been at Mercedes 3 years. So yeah, 4 years I've basically been doing nothing. I'm 6'5". I weigh, well, the last time I weighed myself I was actually 160 kilos roughly, which is dangerous, because a lot of people watching this are probably half that, and they complain about being overweight. But yeah, for me it's dangerous. And yeah, I started going to the gym in 2016 and I stuck it out for 5 months. And basically the motivation then was that my best friend Michelle had just had a daughter, and yeah, I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that I'm probably never going to have a child on my own one day. So I said to Michelle, it's important that I let's have a look at the golden sun for a moment. I said to him, it's important that when Michelle walks her down the aisle, that I'll be there to see that shit. So that was my motivation. After 5 months, I broke up with someone. And yeah, it kind of hit me a lot harder than I realised at the time. I lost all my motivation and will to care about things, and then that led to successive winters of depression, which I'd feel like I'd just climbed out of it, and then it'd be back to square one again, and then December would roll around and here I was. So that kind of sucked. And then in March last year, I was looking in the mirror and I thought, what do you want to do with your life? Because the way you're going right now, you're at a crossroads. You can either, if you're totally fine with what you're doing, you can just, keep doing what you're doing. You'll probably die quicker, but hey, at least you'll be out of the game because you're kind of tired and bored of it. Or you can have a think about what if, and just think about like all the things that you could do, or not necessarily what you want, because we all want things that we can't have. But what would be, the thing that would motivate a change? Like what would bring about the change? So I was looking in the mirror, and I thought I'd like to learn Japanese. I always kind of enjoyed watching anime with my old friend Jess, and I loved the sound of it. I loved the culture. I mean, my love for Japan actually goes all the way back to when my age was in single digits. Channel 4, which was one of the 4 TV channels that were available when I was a kid, they used to do late night movies on Friday. There'd always be like a Hammer horror film, so like a British horror film with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, Ingrid Pitt, and like a vampire movie or a Frankenstein film or something like that. And then they would follow it up with something completely weird and off the wall. And it was, I don't remember how old I was, but I was really poorly one time, and I couldn't sleep. And my mum came down and she said, I'll sleep on the sofa if you want to watch TV. So I said, okay. And then I put on the TV, and it was probably 11:30, midnight, something like that. And I was flicking through the channels, and it was coming to the end of whatever the horror film was on Channel 4. And it said, up next is a classic creature feature with Japan's favourite export, Godzilla. I didn't know what Godzilla was. I didn't even see a picture. But I didn't know what Japan was. So I thought, okay, what's a Japan export? What is that? So my curious, 8-9-year-old brain, maybe I was younger, thought, let's stick around and on this channel and see what happens after commercials. And lo and behold, a Godzilla movie came on. It was Invasion of Astro Monster. If I wasn't out of breath and exercising, I'd probably be able to tell you the Japanese title. I've forgotten it though. But it's notorious because it's not just about Godzilla. It's actually about, oh hello, Lady Niske. Thank you for watching. You are joining my fitness channel. I'm a very heavy guy, and I'm trying to walk 2 miles a day to get in shape, because in 2 years' time I'm hoping to climb Mount Fuji in Japan, and I will be live streaming that entire journey if I make it, or at least as far as I can go. So this is the British countryside. I'll just give you something to look at. But yeah, I was just telling anyone who's listening my story of where my love affair with Japan began. So yeah, Invasion of Astro Monster, the first Godzilla film that I ever saw. The plot is very simple. There's aliens from another planet, and they come to Earth and they say, we're in desperate need of help. Our planet is under threat from... that sounds like a great goal. Thank you so much. Well, with your kind of support, then that would be amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so these aliens come to Earth and they meet with the UN, which is basically a lot of Japanese people in a small office, because it's the 1960s low-budget creature feature. And they say that our planet is under threat from this monster. We understand that you have a couple of monsters yourselves called Godzilla and Rodan. We wondered if we could borrow them and basically use them to fight off and defend our planet. So I think this is the 6th film in the Godzilla series, but needless to say, the world government is like, you know what, screw it. Godzilla and Rodan have been a nuisance these last 10 years or so, destroying everything. This is a great opportunity for us to just get rid of them. So they send the aliens off with Godzilla and Rodan, and they land on Planet X, which is one of the most boss-named planets I've ever heard. Generic, but sounds like so forbidden and mysterious. Anything that's got Planet X in the title, I will probably watch it. Anyways, Godzilla, Rodan show up, and lo and behold, the monster that is awaiting them is none other than King Ghidorah. So he was introduced in the previous Godzilla film, and he basically got defeated and ran away. So that was the last time we ever saw him, but he showed up back on Planet X. So Godzilla and Rodan immediately start fighting King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah loses again and runs away. Famously, you get to see Godzilla jumping up and down doing an Irish jig in celebration. And then everything seems great, but actually what happens is the aliens, it was all a ruse. The aliens then capture King Ghidorah, Godzilla and Rodan, and then use mind control to turn them on planet Earth and conquer our planet. Those bastards. Man, I never watched those movies, gotta see them. Well, I don't know if you'll find it now, but about 6 months ago, Criterion, they do the Criterion collection releases of DVDs and Blu-rays. They released their 1000th box set, and it was all 15 of the Showa era Godzilla films, which is the first 15 films before they took a hiatus and then came back in the second era. But yeah, so long story short, this was the first time that I'd ever been subjected to Japan and pop culture of Japan. They had these crazy giant monsters and aliens flying around, and yeah, it was an absolute hoot. And even though I was poorly, I had a great time. So that was where my love for Japan really began. We are here at the crossroads, which is the turning point. There's my shadow. Hello Twitch. I'm waving at everyone. So Charleston again, that's my village. I'm going to put this onto reverse camera. There we go. Hi. I want to set you down somewhere, but I don't really think that's a good idea because you may lose me. But let me tilt this up a bit so you can see me. There we go. Having this thumbstick on this gimbal is a godsend. Like, Michel, as everyone who's watching from the Netherlands, Lady Naiske, could be. We don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery like Invasion of Astro Monster. He said, absolutely disgustingly slobbering all over his water. I'm going to take it slow with the water because I seem to just guzzle it. She's Dutch. Goedenavond. Dankjewel voor kijking. Bekijk. How do you say that? For watching. Kijk is leuk. Voor mij. I don't know if that made any kind of sense. I know a little bit of Dutch and a little bit of Japanese, and I almost said I can speak a little bit in Japanese, which would have been showing off, but also accidental. How do I say that? Klein biertje. Klein biertje? No, that's small beer. Klein beetje. There you go. Oh, look at this, we're international here. So yeah, just to fill you in as well, I'm going to swap hands actually with this gimbal because I can't see myself so well if I'm holding with the left hand, and also I'm drenched in sweat. That's absolutely gross, I'm sorry. Let me snap this back to a center position, there we go, and then tilt it up so you can see me better, there we go. Bedankt voor het kijken, there you go. Hartelijk bedankt voor het bekijken. Het kijken. Do they still have the kite shop? I used to love going there. Anyways, yeah, so I think that this is definitely working for me, this gimbal device. It's giving you guys a lot better perspective than the handheld thing that I was doing before. I'm moving it up and down, but it doesn't look, moving it side to side. It feels really stable. It's really easy to use as well. So yeah, I think this nope, cake shop is gone. Oh no, that's a cake shop went bust, I suppose. Wow, we're hearing all about Dutch retail here on my Get Fit show. Oh yeah, speaking of Get Fit, I'll show you my hideous body. As you can see, Star Wars The Last Jedi t-shirt, pretty standard. But my Fred Durst like cargo pants, they had to come off because they got covered in filth. So they're in the wash. I'm wearing the super fresh looking Bermuda shorts. Star Wars, yeah. And Last Jedi, which I know everyone loves to hate, but it was my favourite Star Wars film of all time. I came out of that movie in tears and shaking with adrenaline, and my colleagues who were with me at the time did not know what to do. I thought The Last Jedi was pretty cool. Oh, sweet. Oh, there you go. Well, we have a fellow fan in the house. So you don't have to be as hardcore fan as I was, but yeah, I appreciate people who can look at these things without feeling like, you know, their childhood was robbed. Your childhood is fine. It's your adulthood. Your adulthood was disappointed. That's the best way to look at it. So right, I'm going to take another water stop. I said this earlier when the internet seems to hate the last 3 films, but I thought they were very enjoyable. Me too. I do think the last one, the first time I saw it, I was completely spellbound, I have to say. The second time I saw it, a little bit more on the disappointed side, and then the third time I saw it in the cinema, I kind of found a nice middle ground. Like, I knew what to expect. I didn't have expectations that were to be dashed or anything like that. So we're walking again, by the way. So yeah, but one thing that is interesting is I own the film on Blu-ray, and I've not been compelled to watch it yet. Normally it's a day one like thing. As soon as I get home, I rip the cellophane off and I start looking at the movie. But yeah, I haven't gone around to it yet. I have the same thing with Captain Marvel as well. I love that film. I've only seen it the one time in the cinema. I went to see it with Michelle, who I believe is watching now, and our buddy Jeff. Went to see it in Hilversum. But yeah, I haven't seen it since, and I do want to watch it. But yeah, there's just so much going on. I've still got a lot of that Godzilla box set to go that I was still talking about. Anyways, I'm going to flip the camera back over so you can see the cool stuff. Doorbell, silly people. Oh, seems that Tiggerable had an unexpected guest. Right, there we go. I have to say, for people who've seen the last couple of streams, Eshe, sumimasen, sorry, I've forgotten how to say sorry. Ik ben stom, let's just say that. I don't know how else to say sorry. Gosh, getting used to this thumbstick. I think I'm going to reverse the thumbstick because at the moment down is down and up is up, and I can't handle that. So I need to. There we go. Right. Tree. There's a nice tree. Oh shit, there's a massive car coming towards me. I'm going to swap the arm around. There we go. Do another recenter. Things should be back. Sorry is just sorry. Oh, okay. It's not a super sorry, or like like in Japanese you have sumimasen, which is like I'm sorry, but it also is kind of more like excuse me. So if you bump into someone, you say sumimasen. But also if you want someone's attention, you say sumimasen. But if you really want to say sorry, you say gomenasai. which is like, I am so sorry, please forgive me. So that's what I'm interested in. How can I say that? Het spijt me. But sorry is used more often, I think. You can also say het spijt. It is with a J, right? Spijt, yeah. Het spijt me. Cool. I'm learning more Dutch today than I have in the last 5 years. It's really weird. I never used to speak Dutch when I lived in Holland. Michelle's saying what she said. Yeah, when I lived in Holland, Michelle knows this story already, so I don't think he's going to hold it against me if I tell it, and I hope no one else does in the chat room, because I love you guys. You guys are my viewers, and really appreciate your company. Wow, look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, when I first came to Holland, I did try a little bit just to sort of learn from my colleagues, the people around me. So people would say something, and then I'd say, oh, what does that mean? And they'd say, oh, they said this. So I said, can you say it? So they would say it, and then I would try to repeat it. And basically, what I learned very quickly was that people, and I guess it was just the wrong kind of people, I don't know. But when I first came to Holland, I was a shell of a man. I had no self-esteem, no confidence in myself. I was severely bullied as a teenager in high school. And I moved to Holland when I was 18. So I basically ended up in Holland as an absolute wet blanket with no pre-installed software. So my Dutch colleagues were basically, every time I would ask them for advice, like how do I say that, or what does this mean, and that kind of thing, they were just constantly making fun of me and laughing at my expense and my efforts to try and speak their language. And I have this thing, like I have a rule of threes. If you don't get what I'm trying to do or say or anything after 3 attempts, and I feel like I've done my very best, I will walk away from the situation. So they would keep asking me to repeat myself, and after the third repeat and watching everyone piss themselves laughing, I would say, you know what, fuck it, forget it. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, you're trying to say blah blah blah. I say, yeah, that's exactly what I've just said. Maybe my accent wasn't perfect, but hey, I tried, and you guys are just cutting me down for it. So within the first sort of 2 years of living in Holland, that was basically my life, and I said, I'm not going to bother doing this. And then it was right at that moment, oh, that is mean. I'm loving the fact that you're trying to speak Dutch. Dutch can be a pretty difficult language to learn. That's very true. I do speak rude Dutch, but I'm not going to try it. But yeah, so after a couple of years, I just gave up, and it was right at that moment that I met Michel, who is in the chat. And he would always kind of try to encourage it, but he wouldn't really push it on me or anything as well, which was nice because it took pressure off me. Like I felt like I didn't have to stress or feel anxious about not talking. But yeah, I could tell that I think he wanted to just see me try. So I think for him it might be slightly annoying that I've suddenly, about 12-15 years, how long have I been back here? Wow, 8 years. So yeah, I think 18 years later, or 17 years later, I think he's probably annoyed that I've suddenly gone from I don't want to learn Dutch to I want to learn the most difficult language there is. So but yeah, since then, since I started learning Japanese a year ago, I've noticed that my interest in learning languages as a whole has really suddenly shot up. So recently I've got some books on beginner's Korean, because I've been invited to go to Korea for a weekend while I'm over in Japan in October. I don't know if I'm actually going to use that, but it's nice just to get a feel for the language and see what's going on over there. And they also share the Japanese kanji as well, so even if I can't read Hangul, which is their handwriting, if there's kanji on the menu, I'll be able to look at the menu and say, oh, this has beef in it, this has I don't know, mushrooms in it, because I'll recognize those kanji. Tiggerable. We tried to speak Dutch a few times, people communicated in English a whole lot quicker back then. But then at Nike, everybody spoke English. Michel saying, "Time to move back here." Yeah, don't think I haven't thought about it a couple of times recently. But yeah, so I'm suddenly remembering all this Dutch that I kind of half-heartedly learned in my time there, and I've been over to see Michel a couple of times in the last year, and I think I've spoken more Dutch around the dinner table and when we've been out shopping and all that kind of stuff than I have in, the last 12 years that I lived there. So yeah, it's really interesting. And one of the flaws of my plan to move to Japan one day is that I need a university degree, and of course I didn't do that because I dropped out of high school because of the bullying. So now I'm looking into returning to university as a mature student, but there's no Japanese courses I can do. So I can do, for example, German, French or Spanish, and I always said if I was going to learn a European language, I would rather it be Spanish, because that's like the second most used language in the world. And I've never been to South America. If you rule out Australia, although I've been to New Zealand, South America and Antarctica, they're the two continents I've not set foot on just yet. So who knows, maybe I'll make it up Mount Fuji, and then a few more years later I'll be in Santiago, Chile. Michel, just curious, do you all know Toby from working at Nike? Yes, Esha does know me. Actually, she was a colleague of Jess. I don't know Lady Niske, but maybe I do, and maybe she just stumbled on my channel by accident, and we don't know each other, but now we're lifelong friends. She's a friend of Tiggerable. That solves this mystery, Scooby fans. Let's have a look at this sunset. Golden sunlight. So yeah, I have to say, not only has this been a really fun. Lady Niska lived in the student home. You once, way back, visited me. I'm not sure if it was already living there at that time. Was that the one where I had to get a train? Like, it wasn't in Hilversum or something. I had to get a train to a kind of a tiny train station, because it's really weird. I was thinking of this just, I think it was either this morning or yesterday. But I will never forget coming back from your place, Zeist, that was it. I'll never forget coming back, because it started to snow, and I was on the bus, and the bus went round the roundabout, and it just stayed sideways while it carried on moving horizontally. And I just remember the driver saying something in Dutch very loudly and very firmly. I guess it was, "Don't panic, everyone, I've got this." But yeah, I just remember looking out the window sideways and going horizontally, which is something Michel told me. He told me a story once about how he was driving his parents' car, and in the snow he ended up going backwards into a bush or something. It's one of my favourite Michel stories of all time. Right, we're here at the 30-mile-an-hour signs, which means that we are about to re-enter my village. Can't really remember whether it was. Yeah, it was. It wasn't like a harsh blizzard or anything. It just kind of came from out of nowhere. I think it had been snowing while I'd been there, because I remember coming to your place and it was not a flake on the ground, but when I left it was quite white. Right. So I'll flip the camera back over. There we go. I definitely think the key tactic here with the walking is to sip the water, well, not sip the water, but take it in less big bursts. Right, let me just adjust my camera, there we go. Okay, so right hand is best for holding the camera when I'm looking at it. Oh gosh. Yeah, so I'm still showing as 0 viewers, which is really strange. It's the only sign of life I have is in the chat room. So right, my breathing is much better than day one. Oh, absolutely. I feel like my breathing is better. I feel this is the best conversation I've had. I've been able to talk a lot more. I feel as well, another benefit I feel is that my brain is, I feel like I have more mental alertness. I don't know how to describe it. I've recently, another kind of motivator as well was for my health, is I noticed in the last sort of 6 months to a year that my spelling has been off. And also when I've been trying to write lyrics for the Baby Metal album that I'm working on, I was really running into situations where I just couldn't articulate my thoughts, like I'd forgotten the words that I wanted to use. Oh, I've dropped my water bottle. Now I have this whole diet thing. I've only been going I started on Friday, so trying to adjust this thumbstick. There we go. Yeah, I've only been going since Friday last week. I heard yesterday, of course, that my job was ending on Tuesday at the end of June. So I'm basically using this as kind of the trailer. So Wednesday, the 1st of July, is going to be when I really get serious with this shit and start to focus on it. Right, I'm going to flip the camera back now so you can see I'm coming down the hill. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to start getting a lot more variety into my diet. Oh, that's why it's pulling over that direction, because I've got it in the wrong hand again. Right, double tap to recenter, pull the camera up, move it a bit to that. There we go. Much better. Yeah, I like this gimbal a lot. Highly recommended. Another fine product by the Chinese people of DJI. When the day that I was going to order my drone, my dad, who's a photographer but hasn't really kind of kept up with the times for various reasons, I said to him, "Oh, the onboard camera for this drone I'm looking at, what do you think?" And I don't think he even looked at the specs. I think he just replied, it was like, "Drones have shit cameras, don't get a drone, you can't fly it anyway, you don't have a license, blah 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 blah," which is very typical him. And then I replied, "Well, I've actually got the license, I just got it. I'm going to be ordering this drone, whether you like it or not. And it's actually really good. Here's a review." And I sent him the video and he said, "Oh, this looks much better than they did 5 years ago when I last gave a shit about this shit." And I said, "What's he saying now?" Oh, there's a lot of text. Your breathing is... Oh, sorry, there's only one more comment. Sorry, I just caught up on it. If you have a decent phone, for sure. Yeah, I have a decent phone, that's for sure. It's a Samsung S20 Plus, so it's only been out a few months. And it's also 5G enabled, which I'm hoping will be really beneficial for when I go to Japan, because imagine the quality of the video. I'm going to be taking this thing out a lot when I'm walking around and doing lots of live streaming in Japan. I can't wait for you guys to see that in October. Anyways, yeah, so my dad was dead against me getting the drone. I got the drone, and yeah, he kind of ate humble pie, as we say in English. This sign here, this green sign, this normally says public footpath, so I think that means I can walk through here, this road or the path. I'm scared because in the UK, even though we don't have guns, if you're a farmer and someone is on your land, you can shoot them and they will shoot you. And every morning and every evening I hear them shooting things, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to stick to the path for now and then take it from there. Right, so I've got to say, we're now officially entering my part of the village because we're going over the infamous bridge. As I was saying on the live chat yesterday, we need to start naming these little locations. So I need to come up with a cool name for this bridge. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so this is the real difficult part for me because it's all uphill until I get home. So if you watched yesterday, you'll know that I was basically unable to speak for the last 5 minutes. Although I did manage to literally slow my horses because there were 3 girls who rode by on horses, and I managed to say, "Excuse me, I'm shooting a live stream right now, would you mind if I filmed your horses?" And they said no. So I got those on camera, which is probably the most amazing thing that I've shot on all of these live streams so far. But yeah, it was very difficult to breathe, but I'm feeling good. Today is feeling good. I also increased my food intake today. Before I was eating 1.5 chicken breasts and 3 bags of the mixed vegetables. Today I ate 2 chicken breasts and 4 of the mixed vegetables. So a lot more food. Oh, there's I don't know if you can see in the over there, but there's sheep in that field. There are other things on this device that let me zoom in and out, but you need to use the bespoke software, and that's for doing actual filming and then editing the footage afterwards, and that's not what I bought this for. I just want it for the stability while I'm walking, so I'm unable to use the zoom functionality on the thumbstick, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm not necessarily out of breath, I'm just keeping my voice down because it's late in the evening and people have their windows open because it's so warm. Oh jeez. Hello. It's a little dog. Kleiner Hund. Oh my, these images take me back to my childhood. My parents used to take me on vacation to the UK, and we loved the countryside and the villages there. Yeah, I'm very, very lucky to live in this environment, I have to say. It's absolutely beautiful, it's very quiet. The place I live is the grounds of the manor house as well. So the guy who lives there, he owns all of this. It's one of the last great land barons of bygone age. But yeah, now the hill's getting a bit steeper, so expect me to be out of breath. But again, feeling a lot better than I have recently. Maybe I should try, I don't know, when I feel more comfortable with this, let's say this feeling of improvement continues, stays on trend as the kids would say, maybe when the road levels out, after I've done the crossroads, after I've had my pit stop, maybe I can try and run for 90 seconds, like a little light jog or something, just to get the pulse quickening again. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm not breathing as heavy today, and I'm not unable to communicate, which is great. Just going to hop down here. How is the video quality, by the way, guys? I haven't been able to find a setting yet that lets me change it from native 720p and dropping it down to something like 480p, which might be better for broadcast quality given the weak signal. Take it easy. keep this up for a few weeks at first, okay? Way before I went to the gym in 2016. This was when I lived in Hilversum. So that would have been 2000. I had my 8th anniversary of living in Holland there. Moved there in 2000. So 2008. I started for about a month. I started to go running with Jeff and Michelle. Not Michelle in the chat, but Michelle is Jeff's wife. And there was like a very strict video quality looks fine, excellent. There was a very strict regimen that I had to stick to for the running exercises, but I felt that because I was doing so well, I could literally run before I would walk. So I was constantly pushing myself, run 10 more seconds faster, run 30 seconds faster, like all this kind of stuff, instead of listening to the instructions and taking my time to adjust. And eventually, I wouldn't say I injured myself, but I didn't like how I felt, so I ended up stopping running, and that was the first time I tried to get healthy. So far I think I'm going to stick with this. I definitely feel more motivated to do so since the first time since I went to the gym in 2016. And here we are again at the California redwood tree, just in time for the beautiful sunset. Have a quick look at the mansion. It's the manor house, and here again is your reward for your patience. The beautiful church here in Charleston. Ooh, look at that sky. Yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, this is the church. Three minutes quicker, really? Oh. Maybe that's because I had a quicker water break. I don't know, maybe I was faster. That's great though. Thanks for keeping tabs. Right, here we go. Let's walk home. Actually, let's have a little pop into the barn again so you can see. I'm curious how the light looks, because it isn't nearly as bright as it has been the last couple of days I've been doing these live streams. So, oops. Okay. Let's have a look into the stables. So this is the rear of the houses. Oh wow, I have to say I'm really impressed by this camera, even though the frame rate has taken a dip. I'm guessing that's because the camera is trying to boost the light. But yeah, you can still see everything pretty well. Okay, let's go home. I wonder if, do you think my heavy breathing and the footsteps and stuff would be good for AMSR videos? Or ASMR videos, whatever they are. I should maybe do one of those. So here we are, we're at home. I live at number 1, which is at the end. So yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your viewership and for all your feedback with the video. And I will be back tomorrow with another walk in another scorching hot day here in the UK. So yeah, thank you very much. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Tot later.